All right, welcome to Mastering Monday. Today is July 20th, 2020. We are in some interesting times, aren't we? We are going to begin with a short opening meditation, and then I'll give a bit of a frequency update of what I'm perceiving in our collective, on the planet, and beyond. And then I'll go into the topic that we're going to be speaking about today, the power of being a witness. Looks like my connection's unstable again today, so I might just have to hop on Zoom, my phone, just so that we have a clear connection. So I'd love to just say hi to everyone and see where you're calling from and how you're doing today. So I'm just gonna get the recording going on my phone so that and all the sound coming from my phone, so that I'm with you in a way that's stable, because I don't know why the internet is being so funky, but it is. So we will. So I apologize about the delay. Okay, here I am. All right, so you don't see me twice. I'm going to stop that. And here we are. Perfect. Wonderful. Beautiful. All right. Technology. We're all doing well today. Here we go. So, with all that fussing around, let's do a short meditation to open the field, because yeah, what I was saying, sorry, I'll just finish what I was saying earlier that got me distracted. So we'll start with a short meditation, we'll go into the frequency update, then the topic at hand, and then I will be taking any questions, comments from you, conversation, guidance, and then we'll do a meditation activation that mostly revolves around the topic, but it also incorporates kind of what's happening in the frequency of now, the experience. So, hi Julie, thanks. Okay. And at any point in time that you're on here, you can comment in chat, anything that shows up for you that you'd like to share, or hi everyone on Facebook. Hi Hillary, thank you. You can comment there as well at any time. So yes, let's do this. Let's take a deep breath into the body. And closing your eyes if you're in a safe place to, and with your breath, bringing all of your attention to here now, this present space of your body, of your experience of this gathering. Bringing all of your attention into this moment, this body. Breathing into it, allowing yourself to relax on any levels that you need to, just breathing your breath into any places in your body, either there's tension, or you're holding, or if you just need to adjust your body to become more comfortable. Allow yourself to be able to be as present here as possible. Just relaxing the top of the head, eyes, and jaw, shoulders, back, belly, the arms and the hands and the hips. Letting them all just be more relaxed, more open, more fluid down into the legs, the knees, calves, and the feet. Really feeling your feet. Breathing deeply into the body and into the center of your body, breathing into the center of your head. Breathing a golden light through the center of your head. And a golden light down to the center of your heart. And then all the way down into the center of the base of your spine. And then breathe a whole golden channel of light through your whole channel of your body and out through your whole body and into your energy body. And if you don't see golden light, that's fine. Just intending that this vibration is moving through the body. And energy body, calling in your higher self, your soul, your higher consciousness, all that you are, your higher knowing experience. Be fully present here with you so that you may be open to receive all the information that's coming through at this time. To guide you on your path. And then opening into the field of everyone else that is present here, that we're all here to learn, expand, grow, to support ourselves, to support each other. We're all here in a circle of connection. Just expanding this awareness, recognizing the unity in our gathering here. And then staying within the awareness of the whole field while being in your own space, your body. And the intelligence and the wisdom of what your experience here is for you. Good. Good. It's breathing into your body. And so thank you for being here. Thank you everyone that is present here with us. Appreciate it. I I feel like today is a much more gentle, subdued day, and maybe it's just because it's Monday. It feels like next Monday. Sometimes that happens on Monday where I just feel like, ooh, a release of tension, but still, a buildup of energy. Over the weekend, wow. I really wanted to sit down and write an email, but I had told myself I was giving myself the weekend to just be, and I had, company and we're having a nice time, and which is what I needed most. What I needed most was just to be social and enjoy myself and time. But it was interesting because my friend who was with us and her son was about the same age as my son, so it was really nice. We both attuned to these levels of experience, and we're just noticing the waves of upgrades, that we're wanting to integrate into our bodies, into our space, into ourselves. And sorry, I'm just looking for my water. My throat's dry today. To where we're really attuning into the central sun. And so how I was seeing it when I was viewing into the central sun and the sun and the earth, and how all of these frequencies were working together, was I was seeing the central sun just as, it's brilliant. I've been watching it expand and grow as if it's like we're birthing a whole new universe, but it's really just expanding in consciousness itself, expanding in awareness, expanding in capacity, just as we are. And that's why it's translating into our space of that's what's happening. And so I was seeing it, but I just see it expanding so intensely that it's just like drawing on the center of the earth up through the sun. And it's just drawing all of this attention and focus into these higher frequencies. And I'm seeing this as the beginning of the passageway through 8-8, the Lion's Gate, into the fall and into the equinox of almost like we're just, it's pulling back, and all of a sudden it's just gonna go bam, like, and it's intense. I'm seeing we're just gonna get this intense surge of light waves through August and through through the fall and integration into later fall. And it's really coming in, becoming like that crystalline clear consciousness. And it also just vibrating through the crystalline grid system of really amping up our ability to be, just super present. And that is one of the reasons why I wanted to be talk about the power of being a witness today, because of how that really brings us into the present state. So these vibrations are really just because light is getting brighter, light is expanding. We are light. And if we really come into that wisdom and that knowing that the minutest part of our body, when you go down all the way into the DNA, and it's been proven scientifically that it is light, we are light. And so as light is increasing, right, in the universe, and the expansion of light consciousness is expanding, it just is going to translate into us. And so those of us who are conscious and aware and working with that, we are going to be, doing the things that support the experience, right? And those that aren't, well, it's manyfold of how that's going to play out. But right now, those of you who are on this awakening path of just becoming aware of who you really are, it's just really tuning in and being willing to just be in the moment of your experience, right? Of your experience. And so the power of being a witness is this space of neutrality, where all judgment is suspended, where we leave the programs of our ideas, our beliefs, our past, our future behind, and we're just in a centered space of observation, right? Where it's almost neither subjective nor objective. It's just allowing ourselves to enter into the all that is, so that we can receive the information that is necessary for us in any given moment. And it takes, a lot of that practice and focus to be able to go, okay, well, I have this brain that wants to shoot off all this information, and then I have my higher mind. It's really that witness state is tapping into the higher mind, beyond the intellect, beyond our known intelligence of what we understand up to this point in our bodies, in our lives. And like, to give an example, have you ever just sat somewhere and you're just watching something? You're not really thinking so much. You're just kind of watching, like maybe kids on the playground, or you're out for a walk and you're just observing the trees, or you're maybe watching something on TV, but you're not really in a space of thinking. You're just kind of observing and watching and receiving. And there's really no like activity or motion going on inside of you. And you just notice that you're just receiving information and you're just being, and maybe you have an aha moment, or maybe you're just enjoyment, you're in just a space of openness and joy And that's the place that we can get to, that brings us into that space of witnessing, so that we're open, right? We're not trying to resist it or understand it or break it down or build it up, or come into any other experience than what it is. It's pure and simple, what it is, what's happening now in this moment. And that's that crystal clear space that I see us being navigated into. And so to get into this crystal clear space, and one of the things that I've been working with, and I work with pretty much every morning as part of my morning routine, is tapping into my true essence. Like I have this routine. I'm just, okay, I'm connecting in. I'm aligned with my true soul purpose. I'm here and I'm aligned with, and I just keep going. And then I come into this space of, and I'm neutral. I'm neutral on every level of my being. And I'm open to what is in every moment, so that I may receive the clear answer that is within my highest good to act, to be, to experience. And it just takes the inner practice, right? This, like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to work on what it's like to be neutral, sitting in a space of what it's like to be neutral. And we'll do this in our meditation later on. But that power then brings us into not just our own knowledge, and wisdom, but we have a capacity. Like one of the things that I say is that I'm aligned with everything that was, is, and will be. And there's no judgment there. I'm not saying I'm only aligned with what's good. I'm not saying I'm only aligned with what's in my highest. I'm aligned with all of it. Because if I can be in alignment and in witnessing and of being in all of it, then I'm just like this free being that has the capacity and capability to move, right? To navigate, to just witness and be and experience. And it takes a lot of practice. I'm not there all the time, right? It just takes the willingness, though, to sorry, I'm just trying to look at chat on my phone because that's where it's coming in now. I'm not seeing it on my computer anymore. Need to learn how, so Julie's saying need to learn how to let go of resistance and find surrender leading to neutral. Well, it's really funny because this how thing keeps coming up, because I used to do that too. How do I do this? How do I do this? How? And it's like, you want to know what? There is no how. And that's kind of weird, right? There is no how. It's when. When will I enter this state? Can I do it right now? Yes, I can do it right now. And how do I do it right now? You take that breath. Why do I want to be in resistance? I don't want to be in resistance, because being in resistance is just going to cause more tension and inability for me to have clarity. Right? So it's kind of like just taking that moment, it's slowing down. When you're a witness, you want to gather information, right? You don't want to just plow through or close it off or be. It's being willing to be open. And it's the how is the willingness. How willing are you? Are you going to make this a priority? Are you going to make this something that you know is going to benefit you or your life, and you do it? Right? And so one of the things that I do is when I find myself in resistance, or I find myself in a loop thought where I'm not in witness state, I'm totally in bias or judgment, right? I'm just like, oh, wait, I'm in this. What's that doing for me? What's it doing for me? Why do I want it? What's in this information that I'm looping in my head that I really want to have clarity on? Or in this experience with somebody, or the feelings I'm feeling, or whatever it is? What is the essence of it? that's really calling me to look. And then if we're willing to let go of the emotion of it or the attachment to it or whatever, we can go into, okay, I'm just going to, if there's something here, obviously, because my attention and focus is on it and it's up in my system, it's up in my space, it's up in my mind, whatever, however it's showing up for you, it's going, it's up, something's here for me to look at. And if I'm willing to suspend the space and just take a moment and breathe and say, okay, I'm intending to be neutral with this as much as I possibly can. And if now is not the time, then maybe what I need to do is set it aside and come back when I can be neutral. Maybe I need to go do something for a little bit to move the energy. And then go, okay, I feel like I'm ready, that I can go into a neutral state and come into observation of what it is that I'm experiencing so that I can gain more information, I can gain more clarity, I can gain more interaction with it on a more neutral witnessing level. And a lot of this actually is the willingness to come out of duality, right? To shift perspective that, one, there's something that needs to be done compared to something that doesn't need to be done, or something that you should or shouldn't do, or it's right or wrong, or good or bad, or whatever type of polarity is in it for you. What's the resistance? And the more I find myself able to, even if I catch myself in a moment, right, where I'm acting in a way or feeling or being in a way that's not really congruent with my core value, like who I really am, like what's happening here. Something triggered something and I'm like doing something, like, oh, okay, wait, that's not really how I want to be. I'm pulling back. I'm gonna take a breath and go, what's here? What can I witness right now that I need to, take a moment and feel what I'm feeling and witness myself. Really witness myself. And suspend any sort of idea or judgment. It's suspending any idea that what I did was bad, or I'm proud of what I did, or anything like that. All of that needs to be suspended because it's all a judgment and it's all ego based, right? So to the witness state is where we shift focus from our personality and our ego to, I'm just going to suspend into a higher realm of consciousness that wants to show me something about myself, about this body, about this experience, about this expression of life that's coming through this body. Or maybe it's about somebody else. Or maybe it's about, something else that wants to be had, wants to be learned or shown in your space. So that power is what brings us really present. Being a witness is what brings us so present into that just clear space. It's like emptying the space. So I'm really curious of what's going on for you as I'm saying this. What's happening in your space as you're saying this, because there's so much, and this is such a powerful place to be, especially with what's happening in the world right now. Sometimes I find myself getting riled up when I see things on the news and I'm just like, I'm just like, wait a minute, just let that be what it is. What do I need to know for my life and how to move in my life and what's happening, right? How do I need to affect this situation through how I'm living my life? And so and what happens when we're a witness is then we're capable of seeing the bigger picture and not getting caught up in programs, ideas, beliefs. It just kind of brings us into an overall space where we can see more, we can feel more, we can experience more. Yeah, interesting, Megan. So she said, I appreciate everything you just said. When you mentioned how positive and negative both are judgments, it made me think of how proud I am of my kids. And what is that for you? The pride and the, it is. It's almost like, it's interesting because there's such a fine line between feeling good about um, our children and like, wow, that's so cool, right? And pride, like letting them like be who they are and being in that witnessing joy of what they're capable of and who they are compared to pride, right? Like pride is like, oh, wow, look what my kids can do. Or like, wow, I mean, I don't know what your pride feels like to you. I'm just kind of experiencing pride and the essence of the pride energy of like, kind of builds the ego up, right? Instead of being like, wow, from the just the open space of witnessing something that's like we were just like, yeah, impressed by. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So there's a, yeah, I'm just acknowledging their greatness and impressed. Yeah. Great. Great. Yeah. And it is true. Like we can be in that space and just notice kind of for me, like in these spaces when I find myself doing that, it's kind of like, well, is it coming from an ego pride, right? Wow. Or is it like just in awe, like that just pure open space of awe, at what somebody else is capable of and just their uniqueness and authenticity. Yeah, I would say awe is neutral because it's not like it. Well, how is it for you? Like for me, I feel awe is just like in that just suspended energy of contentment. Like I feel it in my heart, I feel it in my body. It's not this part of myself where I feel like, oh wow, that pride coming in, and the ego wanting to create story around, like I'll just play off of what you're bringing in, like the pride wanting to play story off of my children and how I'm raising my children or what I've done to create this or what they're capable of compared to other people or what it is, like, no, just in awe of like the, greatness of life without judgment of it being good or bad or right or wrong or better than or less than or whatever it is, it's just like, there's just that pure energy, the pure energy of expression. So yes. Yeah. So Lance, I like the reminder to stay in neutrality in this world of huge separation taking place, finding a place of no judgment and staying in 0 point presence. Thank you. Yes, Lynn, exactly. Yeah, because when we're able to stay in that space where there's so much going on, but then what happens when we open up into that neutral witnessing space? Wow, what can impact us, right? What can really impact us when we're in a neutral space, right? We can still feel that, the joy and like our inner essence, right? Because those are the things that are natural for us to feel. And we might feel emotion, other types of emotions, but when we choose to stay in that neutral space, then it's the triggers or the ideas or the programs don't start to run because there's no space for them to run. There's no space for them to run. And we can just sit and be or do and be and have this wonder, this curiosity, but a curiosity that's not attached to the brain wanting to do things. It's more of a wonder of like, I'm open to this other field of connection that brings up more of that inner wisdom to be able to express itself. So Megan, when I recognize greatness in others and build them up with what I see in them, that can still be neutral, because I tend to do this with everyone I interact with. Yeah, I mean, I think that's, but what I would like to, just for your own self-reflection is, where is the desire to build somebody up coming from? And what is it that you're intending to do for them? And then it's their own responsibility, right? If it's going to play into their ego, right? Or if it's going to be like, wow, I can recognize that about myself and celebrate that about myself. Cool, you know, and it feels good, and it builds them up in a way that's more heartfelt for them, you know, but that's not your responsibility, that's theirs. And so what is it for you? And it's just an inner reflection if it comes out of just pure joy of seeing people happy, or what's the intention, what's the motivation behind wanting to build somebody up. Does it build you up? Is it an ego build up for you? Or is it more of a heart centered, just selfless experience for you? You know, that these are just the things we get to play. These are the witness. This is the witness of ourselves. Yeah, exactly. I do that too. And I appreciate it when people do that, those things too. Like, wow, yeah. And I think celebrating each other's greatness is a part of this you know, connected innate essence. Let's celebrate each other's greatness in a way that's just sweet, you know, just sweet and fun and enjoyable, because we've lost so much connection with our greatness, right? We've lost so much connection. I mean, just the level of, or the number of people that seek out ways or don't know, love themselves, or, you know, can't see their greatness or can't feel their greatness. You know, I mean, it's huge. It's such a, one of those places that I feel myself get sad, you know, around the reality of people and not knowing their own greatness. So I think it's wonderful that we get to recognize that in each other and have the capacity to share it. So yeah, no, it's not that we have to be void of emotion or void of connection on these levels. It's more of a space where we can be willing to recognize it all. Like, I can recognize my greatness, and I know I can recognize my faults, and I'm willing to, right? I'm willing to. But what I'm doing when I do that is I'm suspending my ego and my judgment when I'm in the space too. There's sometimes when I'm not, and I'm still, you know, but I really practice going, wow, I'm seeing that about myself. Whether it's something that I'm, you know, experience as, wow, I'm opening up into this newer capacity, or I noticed that I shifted my behavior with that. Wow, cool, you know, or wow, that attitude really needs some adjustment, right? But it's not like I'm gonna, you know, go into blame, shame, guilt, or pride, or ego, or any of that. It's more of like, I just get to notice and be willing to have this relationship with myself, to be always in connection, and then be able to do that for others. Are we able to just witness others and not go into any judgment, blame, shame, whatever it is? You know, and so that's the power that we have, is to, when we leave our, you know, brain minds and shift into a different level and frequency of thinking, of being. Yeah, you're welcome, Megan. Yeah. Good. So, all right. So anyone else want to share, ask a question? Oh, I wanted to read you a quote from this book that I have. It's called The Mechanics of Awakening. I actually haven't read the whole book yet. It was by Gary Sherman, and he wrote this experience, this quote that came from experiences that he had when he first started having experience where he didn't feel any boundaries between himself and others. You know, it's kind of like when we go into that witness, like that's kind of what happens when we go into that witness state. And it's funny because yesterday I was just going, you know, thinking about what I was going to speak about today. And I opened this book and it went right to this quote that, of course, spoke to exactly the topic that I was, you know, meditating on. And it reminded me that so many times in my awakening experience, in my you know, altered states of experience that I was starting to have, when everything did, like all separation just gone. Like I was united with every single thing, and I could feel it in every cell of my body, and even I disappeared. I was just this consciousness in united consciousness with everything else, and it was just like, wow, so it was like really profound. Those are the profound experiences that it just keep me on my path, right? And being in that pure witness space and just being so connected with everything, whether we want to see it as dark or light or this or that, it was everything. And I could just feel it all and experience it all. But it was just a pure witness space, right? And so he said, so from his experience of going through this himself, of not having any boundaries and being completely unified and having a shared experience with somebody else or a whole field of experience, is the nature of awareness itself is to attune to what is held in its presence, right? So when we are able to attune into the presence of something else or ourselves, you are practicing a natural capacity for relationship that exists throughout consciousness and is the cooperative foundation upon which it rests. So our collective consciousness, our unified field, the foundation of it is this natural presence. This natural presence that we're capable of coming into in this witnessing state, right? It's fascinating, like the process that we have to go through to come into what's really actually our innate natural way of being, because our minds and everything's been so co-opted over time that this witnessing space is what's the most natural thing for us, to be suspended in the presence of awareness. Imagine the power. I mean, do you feel the power in that? Like just what you have access to and the capacity and the capability of by being in that space. Oh man, it just opens up just everything. I just, even talking about it, I feel everything in my whole being expand, and the whole awareness of my being tuning in to something that's more real than anything else. So if no one else has any comments or questions, we'll go into meditation around this. Let's see what wants to come through for all of us in meditation. All right. So let's welcome you into the meditation for the power of being a witness, being full and present in your own being, for the capacity of growing your awareness, your consciousness, your connection with pure self, pure body, all that you are, pure essence of awareness. Just breathing into your body and closing your eyes. Bringing your awareness here in this present moment. Just noticing if you're holding your body in any place, what may have showed up for you, and listening to this, just letting it, with your breath, just letting it go, coming into the centered space of your body, not needing to know anything or be anything, just here. It's here, right now. Following your breath, following the rhythm of the energy in your body. And then breathing this energy into the awareness of your energy body around you. Good. Releasing any and all cords to anybody, anything, any place. Just allowing all of your energy to be here without any of your energy going out anywhere else. You're in a place to do this. Bring all of your attention and focus into your breath, breathing into the space of your body. Calling in the energy, the essence of yourself to be here and more present and bigger in your space of awareness, your inner knowing. And intending that you're neutral, just saying to yourself, I intend to be neutral on all levels of my being. I intend to be neutral on all levels of my being. And bringing your attention and focus into the center of your head, golden white light in the center of your head. And if you don't see light, just intending that the vibration of gold white is in the center of your head. I intend to be neutral. I am neutral on all levels of my being. And then bringing your attention to the top of your head, connecting in with source energy, who you are, your soul. I am neutral on all levels of my being. And then bringing your attention to above your head, coming out of the body of just enough where we enter into the space of our higher consciousness, of our pure wisdom, of the witnessing state. I am neutral on all levels of my being, witnessing myself, releasing any and all judgment, ideas, beliefs, biases, experiences, coming into the pure capacity of being a witness to myself, to others. I am a pure witness to all that is. I am open to all the information, the wisdom, the information that comes through in this pure witness space. Releasing any and all ego from the body, the energy body. I'm here to open my consciousness, expand my awareness to the present moment and all that is experienced in the present moment in pure information, pure wisdom, pure capacity to see, feel, experience, so that I may gain more awareness and wisdom in connection with all that I am and all that somebody else is or something is. To tap into the truth, the essence, the experience of all that is in this present moment. And in this meditation, we will experience the transformation of our being. Staying within this witnessing space above your head, allowing yourself to deepen this capacity of neutrality, of witnessing. Taking a deep breath through the body, Bringing all of the breath and awareness into this space above your head of your pure witness of connection to self, of soul, of all that is. And noticing something in your life that you're working on shifting. If it's an idea, a thought, a behavior, anything that you wish, and just bringing it into the space in front of you. If it's on a table or a screen, just staying up in this space of neutrality. Say, I'm willing to look at this from a space of neutrality. And anytime I feel anything arise, a thought, an emotion, experience, just to acknowledge that it's there and also say, well, this is neutralized. I'm neutralizing this emotion, this thought, because I'm here to be a pure witness. I'm here to stay neutral. I'm here in this present space to observe, to just be. And that whatever it is in my life, be what it is so that I may gain as much information and wisdom and knowledge and transformation as possible in this moment. So just looking at the experience of what it is that you would like to shift and just sitting with it from this witness space. What do I need to know from this witnessing space about this experience? What do I need to know? Is there anything that wants to show up for me in this witnessing space to navigate this transformation, this shift? It's witnessing yourself or another if they're involved, just witnessing. Just letting everything that shows up be held in the space of neutrality, acknowledging and neutralizing. And neutralizing this emotion, this thought, in this moment so that I may gain more information. Just notice, what's it like to experience this other part of you or another part of an experience from this witnessing space? What does it feel like? Saying, what is it that I need to do? You gain some information. Now, what is it that I need to do in connection with this higher part of myself that will help me navigate this experience? It's witnessing the experience. And anywhere that you're finding emotions or thoughts or judgment, just breathe this light into it with the intention of transforming it into some neutral space. Noticing, well, having this come up and be such a part of my body or energy body really isn't serving me to transform it in the best way possible. So just breathing the light through that thought, the emotion, the experience. With the willingness to transform it so you're not hanging on to it. And then releasing any and all cords to it, any attachment to the behavior from the past or the future or the present. And I'm willing to witness this so I can set it free, set myself free, to have more capacity in my space to be me. I'm in a neutral space on all levels of my being, witnessing myself or the other, gaining the information and the wisdom. Is there anything else I need to know or anything else I know that I need to know to do, to be, to create around this experience? if you're finding any place that it's challenged to move through, any judgment or any ideas or beliefs or patterns, really bringing your breath there. Bringing all of your attention, all of your breath from this neutral space into that part of your body, your energy body, and breathing it. Let's loosen it up. Breathe the light into it. Give it some space. Give it some relief. Give it some attention. Just breathe it through. Say, okay, let's move this energy. Stagnant spots, move this energy. And if there's nothing, just keep breathing through the body, maintaining a neutral space for as long as possible. You find yourself going into thought or anything, just taking a deep breath, coming back and saying, I'm staying above my head in this neutral space. And then this neutrality flow through your whole body, all the way down to your toes, feeling your feet, the whole body in a neutral suspended space where all exists and nothing exists, all right here, right now. And if you're still feeling any part of your body in resistance, just keep your breath there. Bringing in that light, bringing in the energy to move it, to shift it, to open it up. Breathing in. Breathing through the body. Intending that every cell of your body, every part of your body is neutral. Every part of your body has the capacity to be aware and moving in this neutral space. And bringing your breath into your body, the center of your head. Bringing that energy into the center of your head, of this neutral space, down through the whole center channel of your body, through your heart, to the base of your spine. Letting it spread through the whole body, anchoring in this neutrality in every cell of the body. The witness, the space of being witness. Good. Just noticing what's showing up for you, what's coming through. And just shining this light forward into your future, to be a witness, to be neutral, to be willing to open up into all that is in the situation and experience, to guide you, to support you, to bring through the specific experience or information from the bigger picture that serves you from this witnessing space, and then in turn serves others. Breathing into the whole body, space of light, the space of capacity, the gentleness of a witness, the harmony and peacefulness of being a witness, the greater capacity of being and being a witness to yourself, to others, to all that is. Just intending to continue to increase and grow and expand your capacity to witness and move through the different levels and layers of your mind, of consciousness, of body, to be more and more of a neutral witness for life itself. Good. Continue to breathe into your body, bringing your attention here now to your body, moving your body if you need to. Breathing into the body, into the depth of your being. And gratitude for yourself for showing up today, for the willingness to learn, to expand, to grow. And then when you're ready, opening your eyes, just looking around at your space from here. What is it like? Do you notice any difference in how you perceive your surroundings from this space? Just intending to be neutral for the rest of your day, for the rest of your experience. Just noticing when you're not, and being gentle with yourself, and shifting into the space of neutrality again. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, so we have a question. Megan, thank you for asking that, because that is a huge piece. I just went through a shift in friendship myself, that there was nothing wrong, but it was just, time to shift from engaging. And that's fine. And so it's really, the one thing that I find that we do as humans is we don't want to do something for fear of hurting another. And even though what's right for us may, in their field, hurt them, but that's not our responsibility of how they're going to respond to what's right for us. And I know that's challenging for some of us because we care for people, right? And at the same time, if you do it, if it feels right to end it, like this is, you no longer have the space to connect with this friend or this person, then the only thing, I think the best thing that I've engaged with throughout my life of this experience is being really honest. Just being really honest and saying, this is what's happening for me. And this is what I need. And not to say that in the future we may not spend time together again or whatever it is, but right now this is what's happening. And when we come at it from this neutral space, right, it's like setting yourself up to having the conversation and setting yourself up to be in this neutral space, and also receiving them in whatever response or reaction they have from this neutral space, then it makes everything more palatable, right? And even though she may walk away feeling hurt, maybe in the long run, which I've experienced from myself and from others, is that in some way it does support them too. Like I've just had a friend do that with me, saying she didn't say, I don't feel the resonance or the capacity to still continue on, connecting. And at first I was a little hurt, and then all of a sudden I felt this freedom because I didn't have to find the space and time to connect with her on the phone or on Zoom, and have our meetings anymore from, something we were working on and everything. And she was still a friend, but it was like, wow, over time, it's opened up this whole field of what it's like to be in conscious friendship. And I know that maybe me and her have a different level of consciousness of creation of maybe what's going on with your friend, but I would say that, whatever emotions or experiences she's going to have are hers. right? And so to release yourself in that space of neutrality, right, of what might come up for her, and doing what's right for you, and coming from a place of that neutrality. And so what I'd like to say too is I'm curious of how many of you in that neutrality felt a deeper sense of heart space, a deeper sense of connection into your truth, into your heart, into your wisdom. I was really curious if anyone felt that. So yeah, I don't know if that helps, Megan, but it's tricky. It's tricky shifting relationships that are aligned and not aligned anymore, right? And the only thing we can do is just be honest, because that in the long run is going to be so much more supportive for them and yourself than kind of like half staying engaged because you don't want to hurt them. And that just creates weird energy. I've done that in the past, and I just say I don't recommend it. It just creates weird energy. And you don't want that. You want to have to keep feeling this thread of connection that you don't want anymore, right? Or feeling that from somebody else. I felt that from somebody else. I'm like, hey, let's just, if we're both not feeling it, or you're not feeling it or whatever, let's just shift. Because then if it is aligned later on to connect, there's not that weird energy, right? There's not that weird energy. So, yeah. In this neutral space, it's best just to be honest, right? That's what this witnessing space is about, is being honest. Being truthful, coming into the truth, and letting that guide us. So, good. Anybody else? Anybody else want to share?
Hi, Kristen.
Oh, hi, Bonnie.
Hi. Thank you for for everything you've said.
Mm-hmm.
So, similar situation to Megan, not with a friend though, but with someone in the family. And I was sort of nice and calm and everything, and then this person in the family had this like relationship issue with, they were in a fairly new relationship, and I was saying, oh, really you should end it and all this, and it just became this sort of chaotic thing across from Wednesday through to Sunday, like really like chaotic, like stressful situation, because they were in the process of moving house and everything, and then they changed their mind and decided to stay in this new relationship. And I was thinking to myself, well, you can't really give advice to people about their relationships, because actually it's not you, and they're not actually going to listen to you anyway, in a way. I know that sounds contradictory, but I think it's true. I think a lot of people ask for your advice, but I'm not even sure they really want it. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. And so it's really, that's the discernment, right? Well, yeah. Am I going to give information, is someone asking me because they really want to know? Or are they wanting information because, they're trying to figure it out themselves? But, it's hard, it's tricky, because some people really want guidance, but at the same time, they're still trying to figure it out themselves, and they're so caught up in it that you can tell them whatever, and it's still challenging for them to take it in, right? Because they're still caught up in it. So it's just deciding, whether and how you're going to engage. Like, is it best for you just to hang back and be in the space of allowing them asking for guidance and it coming through that's going to best serve them, or just letting it be alone? So it's up to you, discerning on whether you want to engage with it. Does it feel in alignment to engage, or does it feel like and it's not in alignment to engage, and follow what comes through?
Yeah, I just think, looking back now across the last few days, I think well, I probably should have just not said anything, because whatever my opinion, and that comes into judgment. But my instinct is that, well, this person isn't right for you, but that's only my instinct. But actually, if they decide they are or they're not, that's up to them. So I was thinking, I probably should say, because often when it comes to things like relationships, people turn around years later and say, oh, well, why didn't you tell me at the time? Now I'm thinking, well, you're supposed to say anything, or you're not supposed to say anything.
Well, that's more kind of unconscious living, when people come back and say those things to you. You know what I mean? And you could also approach it as, hey, I'm concerned. This is what I'm noticing. You can take it or leave it, but this is what I'm noticing. And then you come at it from a place that's more neutral. You're coming at it a place that's more heartfelt. And it's just like, here's some information. And that is not their responsibility to do, and it's not your responsibility to carry what you're feeling anymore, you know? And so that's another way to approach it. And that's another way that I find really helps, is like, hey, you know, if you're willing to listen to me for a moment and open into this, then fine. If not, I just really felt like I needed to share it. You know, so it's the, what really comes through in this whole witnessing process too, is our approach. Is our approach to ourselves and our approach to life, you know, because when we come into that witnessing space, we're less attached. We're less attached to it, right? We're less attached to ourselves and our own reactions, and we're, you know, our personalities, our egos and our reactions, and we're less attached to others and their, you know, emotions, egos, and, you know, reactions and triggers and whatever it is. And we can just come into more of a pure space of relating. And if someone else can't meet you that way, that's fine. You can still use that approach and then leave it, right? So that's the power of it.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I think I will take that approach from now on, because it's not. It's best to say, like you say, it's best to say something, but say it in the right way than not. I always think it's best to say something than not say anything, or say something in the wrong way, I guess.
Yeah. You know, I mean, if you feel that it's right for you to say something, then use that approach. And, you know, sometimes, a lot of times what I'll do too is, if I feel like I want to have a conversation with somebody about something, and I'm feeling like they may not be receptive to me, or I know they're not going to be receptive for me, I actually sit in meditation and have a conversation with them from that space, from soul to soul, higher consciousness to higher consciousness. So I can have my expression, right? Because it's in me, and instead of like rolling it around in my head and wanting to say something and not saying something, I have the conversation with them. I have that expression. And then it just relieves a lot of that tension within me. And then I know on some level, even though it may not be conscious for them for years or this lifetime or whatever, they've received it. They've gotten it on some level. And then down the road, is since I've relieved that tension in myself of what's going on inside of me, then it's easier to have this approach in person, face to face, or on the phone or whatever, because I've relieved the tension of what I'm feeling or experiencing. So that's another approach, is have the conversation from a neutral space with them in your own space first. Get it all out, right? And then see in that conversation, a lot of times when we do that, even with ourselves, I'll have conversations with myself that way. Say, okay, well, I need to communicate with myself and I'm feeling charged. I'm just going to go into meditation. I'm going to sit, go into this witnessing space. And then from that space, what happens too, when we have that conversation or that interaction with ourselves or others, then we get to see where we can modify. When we learn from what we're feeling and thinking about ourselves or about others, and say, wow, is this maybe something true for me too? Or is it something, you know, and then sometimes it helps us even know what approach to take when we're with someone face to face. It's just like a whole fun thing to play with. Yeah. Energy first.
Yeah.
So good. Thank you for bringing that up.
Okay.
All right, I can take like one more quick comment, but I need to transition for another meeting. So, anybody else? Oops, I don't know how I got muted. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was just doing the closing meditation, so I guess I'll repeat it. So thank you everyone for being here. Let's see if people still here with me. And just closing your eyes for a minute and giving gratitude for yourself for being here and all that you've received, and just noticing, just bringing into your space what you did receive. What did you receive today from this experience? And how are you going to move forward with what you have received? Reminding yourself to enter into more of a neutral witnessing space throughout your day. And just notice what it's like, what it brings for you. And then giving gratitude to everyone else in the circle that's here. To grow together, to expand together. Good. And just breathing some energy of harmony and freedom and love into your body and your space, and go forth in your day with love and peace and joy in your hearts, minds, and souls. And we'll be with you next time. Thank you so much for being here. Much love to you all. See you next time. And you always can email me, if something came up in our conversations. Yeah, thank you, Julie. Yeah, if anything came up in our conversations that you're curious about or you want to comment about, feel free. Thank you.